let's get to it on a Thursday. I am getting a slow start. But let's pick it up in the afternoon session by getting the new and improved HPC for TradingView by sending your username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. A little update to share with everybody. We're going to be adding the new HSI dot line trigger. It's just these simple green and red lines. What does that mean? We're trying to really pinpoint levels and lay it out in an easily digestible format. This was this morning. You know, I had a slow start this morning. I took one short shot at 40 in my crew. It was like a 5-point loss. Probably just not waiting for what I needed to see. Let me show you guys really quick. And now we have another one at the moment at 440. And it was like back in here, looking for some kind of reaction. But boy, this market is just, it's a slammer. It's slamming. Where is that 30-second time frame? Where was it? It was like up in here. 440. Wasn't too long ago. And it was a nothing. Actually, no, it was back here on a retest. But this is what we really should be focusing on. And I probably needed to look at this a little deeper. Had a late start. But look, let's talk some harmonic pattern windows of opportunity here. Patterns are a structure defining levels, a framework, and what's that framework telling us with confirmation here? Big hourly Gartley on the extended hours. And we had some bullish dots, a little green line right there. That was retested this morning. So that just is a reaction. And so my plan is I'll come back this afternoon. I'm not going to go too long today, guys. I'm really not. I think I'm a little bit, I'm not there energy-wise. And again, it's probably, I always say that you got to be ready to trade the market when the market's ready to be traded. And I was not ready to trade the market really this morning. So I just kind of sit in front of the screen with a couple cups of coffee trying to get my energy back. I think I've got it now. We'll see what happens this afternoon. Do want to show you, I had a trade yesterday afternoon, like towards the end. Been finding some good stuff in the last hour and a half, where trend direction's running pretty well. And let me just, here it was. It was a type 1 return, type 2 return. It was just a scalper. And again, this is part of the 1-2 framework. But it was yesterday afternoon, like late in the session. But I'm finding a lot of really nice reactive moves, and I had a line here. Let me show you really quick. It's not showing now because the way the tool is set up is just to basically show the last one. But the line looked like this, had a pattern, was looking for the retest, and the other part of it was we had really clear, nice 5-minute break, or excuse me, 30-second breakout. Part of what I've been really focusing on is trying to show folks how to wait for HSI to get above those 5-minute or the 50 limit levels for the follow through. I'll be looking for that this afternoon. Let my crew know. But that was a you know, trading that right up into the zone has been really nice with trend direction into the end of the day. And we've been strong. I mean, just remarkable. Let me get this here. There it is. What was that? That was last week. Let me get you guys right here. So we got a whole bunch of patterns developing here on the 5-minute, left and right. Where are we now? A little overbought, a little overstretched. But really what I want to focus in on the weekly phenomenon of what's happening. And again, I've been saying this for a few weeks that people that were bearish, I've just been surprised. I know it's October. Doesn't mean it has to go straight down. If anything, what's the tape tell you? It's been strong. Ever since that weekly dot, HSI check back, weekly dot, it's not stopping. Those are the futures. Probably the chart everyone needs to monitor from now until what? 28 days from now, 27 days or longer. I would say even for the end of the year is this big deep crab on it's not a weekly even, it's a monthly. The monthly showing us really what this wants to do. And at this point, we broke out all-time new high close yesterday. I've been saying anything above 570, 575 is, you set it free. Beautiful deep crab. Just because you have a pattern doesn't mean it's an absolute end-all be-all. It's not a one-shot sell. Oh, okay, we're right there, and it just goes. No, we need to. It's a starting point. It's always a starting point. And individual price action, at least, and again, another point. If it's a 5-minute, 30-second, weekly, monthly pattern, doesn't matter. Can we get one bar that agrees with the pattern? So in this case, I'm not even thinking bearish till I see a red candle up in the zone. Yep. What's going on, chat? People straggling in. You guys have to let me know. What's a better time for everybody? 12:30 or 12 o'clock? I can get my act together. I could get it to 12 o'clock. But usually people are just kind of getting around. Lawrence, Carthago, Daniel. Daniel, you've always got some great picks. What do you got for me today? Alex Edward, Mr. Lodak. Where you been hanging? How about my Tampa people? You guys okay over there? A couple friends told me that it was pretty rough. Believe me, I've been through that. And, I've been through 1 or 2 hurricanes myself. They're scary. They're scary. Unless you got to evacuate, though, I think, unless you're really close to water, you can handle it. Of course, you get those once every 40, 50-year storms. What's up, Phil? Awesome. Okay. Appreciate that, Lake. Thanks, Bob. Just more stragglers coming in. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to get updates, notifications. I've got a whole bunch of ideas of things I want to do going forward. I'd still say, folks, we're coming into a very unique, special time, long-term trend of the markets that is going to change the character of the last 2 years. What does that mean? Well, look, aggressively strong since a year ago. One red monthly candle since last October. These are all unique individual signs that, have meaning, significance going forward. I got this throat thing. Hold on. Anyway, so we're coming into a really amazing, incredible time. I don't really, again, I'm talking all market here. And I'm thinking, we've got this 3 to 5 year time horizon. How's it going to go? It's going to be dictated by what happens on this monthly chart. S&P 500. Are we going to go ballistic? Because check it out. We're up here. HSI is trying to kiss monthly overbought, but I just want to highlight the fact that that's a starting point, and I'm of the opinion that we would still need to hit the overbought And if you go back to 2021, and I think there's a lot of similarities going on here, okay, where did that first hit? The first hit was May 2021, like there. And you were several months with continuation until it even signaled any warning sign. Okay, if this is the hurricane coming, 2021 top, January 2022, this is uh, several days before that hurricane hits. Not saying there's a hurricane coming. If anything, I want to monitor what happens up. Do we get to this 618 level? 618, guys. S&P 500, that puts you over 6,000, 61, 6,200. That's what you should be thinking. It's, I've been really chiming in on the long-term outlook the last many months. How's it going to shape up? Because we have signs, and you see the Fed's cutting at all-time highs. All right, and I've explained how previous cutting cycles took months of development, individual bearish action before you had to be concerned. I don't want to get steamrolled. You gotta go with the trend and ride that. So SPY, impressive stuff. I mean, it is impressive stuff. Where would be a capitulation move, like long term? You go back, and I've done this before. Like the prior example was 2007, and again, whether it's a shark, a crab, or whatever, okay, structure's there, levels are there. Where's the confirmation? Clearly no confirmation. And I really do, I liken it to where we are currently, okay, as if we're 2007. And I'm not saying that's where we are, but I want to respect the strong action. And then when we get up into the zone and get some confirmation, all right, then you got some things to look at. It would be a really a long time before that thing was to invert and then roll over. As I've said before, I will probably do some election related streams as we get closer. But I do think we have to consider there are expectations, there are certainties and uncertainties of consequences of depending on how things work out. And again, I'd go back to 2016. Okay, because 2016 was just remarkable blow off kind of behavior after the fact. There was an expectation one way, it went the other, and then was pretty clear that once you broke that out, and we have precedent here. We have precedent, and we will look at this whole area. In my opinion, if just let's pretend for a second, okay, we could have something like this is our hop level, and we could have some reaction move, but then after the fact, you break out of that hop. That's kind of what I'm thinking of what we're looking at here. But until we reach these major levels, you don't fight this. You don't fight this. And that's going to be the baseline for everything we consider going forward. Meanwhile, you look at major stocks, and I said I would get to this on Tuesday. Things like Meta. Look at that chart. Monthly chart. What's going on there? Other than a steamroll, and you're 5x, 6x, guys. You're up 600% off the low in 2 years. On a $1 trillion company, almost. They got to be $1 trillion. Yeah, I think that's you're looking at this kind of formation, respecting individual price action, and what's the possibilities here? Because we've talked about all of these doing 1618 major moves, which they've done. But I'm interested beyond 1618 now. There it is. The 1618 was 565 forever. 565. 568. Is that an overspill move? Most likely. I mean, I think, Meta, whatever's going on over there, Zuckerbucks is back. And I would think it's something more. It's a bigger deal. This is one of the things, one of the general ways, again, framework. Think framework. What's it doing? Just ask yourself, what's it doing at that 1618? 1618 there. What preceded it? What's it doing there? Does it react? Does it follow through? It's just, this is a straight up move. And so that's extreme behavior. Okay, and then what's possible beyond that 1618, 1902? Let's think extreme numbers. It's going to take time, but that's the character being exhibited here, no doubt. Barely a 1 bar check back at all. So, especially for new folks, I welcome you. Again, get over to harmonictrader.com and get all the resources that you need. Okay, right there. And as a basic member, make sure you guys send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst to get with that. And here's the thing, before I go any further, all right, the dot line, just wanted to bring this up really quick. Okay, the line is in the indicators. You're going to go in there, invite only. This is for everybody too, especially if you're new to the trial. You go to invite only, all the indicators will be there. You'll load them up and then go into the arrows. And it's like that. Then go into those settings. Got too many here. So go bust into the settings and they'll all be there. Where did it go? Hold on, I think I messed that up. No, I'm sorry. Oh, come on. Let me come back to that. For a second, it escapes me. Like I said, my brain needs to get activated this morning. I'll come back to that. Regardless, I'll have a video up. I'll post that video on YouTube. Yeah. Before I get any further, and I do want to jump into really quick looking at QQQ as well before individual stocks. Okay, this is what we're dealing with this morning. Big bat pattern. That's on an hourly. There's our red line. Okay, that's the red line. And it is in HSI arrows, folks. It's in the HSI arrows indicator. And yeah, here's the inner outer line of, there you go. That's what I'm looking at in the short term. You got a dot, you got some confirmation finally. The only thing I'm really focused on as well is check out what the hourly 50s. We've broken down on that 50 line, but not yet on amplified. So really first start, kind of the first consideration here, and that's an alternate bat. What do we got at the moment? Like a 5-minute for the rest of the day. Not much. I'm again, there's 30-second time frame. Let's see if we got there. That's what I was looking for. Just a bat pattern on this 5-minute RTH, regular trading hours. But that's the kind of setup intraday, even longer term, that you're looking for. You've got pattern completion. That's your starting point. That's a type 2, by the way. Let me bring this up. So there's the T2 indicator. There's some confirmation. So you focus in on that level. And then even, I would say, like, breakout there. A lot of nice things there for a T1 up to T2. Remember, T1 reaction, that did it to 93. T2 with confirmation, go to target 2. I'll do a little bit more on this in a second. But I want to show, I showed you a Nasdaq, but I show the monthly here. Okay, and this is the thing that we need to really focus in on, the fact that you are on the Qs, major 1618. And then I'll break it down to some of the big ones as well. But there's the 1618. We talked about that. I mean, hit it perfectly. It's like 503. And we had that quick 10% correction to just a 236. What does that mean? Because the ratios, the levels, they have significance. They have a meaning. 1618 reaction. Okay. You did a sharp reaction. Now go back to retest. And that's a 503 retest. Beyond that, we'll deal with much higher possibilities. But the only thing that I'm looking at, again, I've mentioned this several times, that if we were super bearish, and I'm not, I'm actually quite the contrary, but we would need a secondary confirmation. You'd need a couple of red months. So until then, you just don't fight the trend. In the same way that I had turned bullish down here 2022, and go back to the things we were saying back then, because we had patterns all over the place. All right, I'm not there yet for that other counter dot. If I was looking at that blindly and just saying, okay, it's the first dot, first marker, if you will, of potential bearish indications, you've got several months. And again, I'd say it's the same thing as in 2022, where we bottomed, but we still required several months before the turnaround ensued. Got to have these markers, got to have clear readings. And here's a monthly. Just to be super clear, this kind of stuff, when just because you're overbought does not mean that price is about to turn. If anything, there's specific moves that have to happen. HSI clearly in the 50. What I'm considering with that kind of action, if we turn back up here, then this means this whole trending situation is nowhere near an end. If anything, we get a couple more green months, folks. We've seen it before, and you have to go back like 10 or 15 years. You go back to what happened post 2008. People were absolutely confounded by the fact that rates were dropping the way they were, but the continued ability for the bulls just to keep buying, holding this market up. You go back 2019, but I'm thinking more like this kind of area here, where HSI is hanging above the 50 and amplified, basically your RSI indicator, just stays overbought. And this happens with relative strength as well. But you're so early that actually every time this gives you an inflection up in the overbought, it says, nope, I want to keep going. And that's what this market is saying. To me, that's what it's saying. I will focus in on what happens. We're 493 on the Qs. When we get back to 503, which we will, and it could be literally in days, if not next week, the next level to consider here is possibility is not 1618. It's the 1902, which is, again, 548, 550. It's 500 on the Qs. Retest that. Let's see what happens. And then if not, then it's just a straight shot. The 1902 level. And beyond that 1902, yes, there's other numbers, but in terms of character, okay, I'm looking at it this way. 2618, extreme level. We're really close. We're really close to making that a possibility. And it would certainly help if certain people win the election and others lose. Don't care. I don't care. Guys, I really struggled with it. I almost registered. I had the application printed, and I'm going to just be honest with you. I just am not. I do want certain people to win because I know that how Wall Street and hedge funds think. Of course, they're gonna say, great. If one person wins, they can expect a whole bunch of things that, right or wrong, are gonna happen, and then they're gonna pile in, and you're gonna see a change in the character of the market where we blast through on that reaction. It will be a lot like 2016, and I still think the initial, if the other person wins, the initial follow through will still be maybe bullish, but I'd be looking for signs of a turnaround. So I didn't register. I'm not going to vote. I'm going to be honest with you. Haven't voted since 96, and I hope people respect my opinion. I get a lot of shit from people that are voters. They're like, on both sides, you got to participate. No, I don't. I'll vote with my wallet. Always have, always will. I don't agree with what's happening in general. I've paid too much in taxes in my lifetime to deal with this nonsense, or at least go along with it. And everything that I'm doing currently is in the future designed to avoid that legally. There's my 2-minute rant. Let's get back to the markets. Let's look at these big techers. Amazon, obvious. What's going on there? Remember these big patterns from 2022? Now we're up against some dots. Have we been there before? Yes. Amazon, though, daily. What's going on here? Is this ready? Looking like some, after the August shark, are we not going to get a 5-0 retest back down to 150? Not when we're printing the next level of HSI. This is a sign of strength. Like 180 is probably the best you're going to do. And then look, we are sitting in a shark pattern. Where have we seen this shark pattern before? It looks like Bitcoin, right? Maybe Bitcoin's not as clean, but this is a ideal example of when you have a pattern, it yields a reaction, and then that's it. And it signals some oversold readings in the short term and then heads back into the zone. What would you need up here? I would need some overbought readings. Where are we? We're above 50. We're above 50. Okay, and that tells me, all right, let's make the run to 203. Let's tag the hop. Same thing I'm thinking about Bitcoin as well. Despite the fact that Bitcoin is back at 60, we'll get into that in a second. I'm not too concerned. 4-hour time frame, that's my favorite time frame, folks, going forward, especially over the next month or so or into the end of the year. Keep looking for oversold signals and run with them there and there. Okay? You want to understand where these reactions end. Look for a dot. That gives you a little divergence trigger. And understand, okay, is this up or down? What's the last signal? It's a green arrow up. I would say come on back to 196. What about NVIDIA? NVIDIA just continues to motor. Big bat pattern. That's the return trade. We've talked about that. I rode this up. I'm out of NVIDIA. I got out a little early, but no problem. I'll get another spot in. But I was buying down here 106, 108 with a beautiful dot on the 4-hour. And there was another dot continuation. Okay, 115, now you're 135. That's great. NVIDIA is going to be one of the best swing trading vehicles for the next many years. You just pretty much buy it on the pullback. But I do want to show you something. Where is my, hold on. Let's make this nice and big. And I put up a crazy tweet a while back on NVIDIA. Got some noise about it. And where is it? And people thought some people thought I was crazy on that, but it's like this. Here she goes. So I put this tweet up a while ago. And I think that's the right scenario. I think NVIDIA is on a move where we have broken out of the long-term trend line. We came back, we back tested the top end, and that was that early September, more consolidation. But so you know, this thing is showing extraordinary strength in an area where it should be rolling over. You take out the all-time highs, you're going to shoot this gap up to 180, 185. There's a lot of signs like this where, again, character shift. Think of it that way. That is the fundamental advantage to harmonic patterns as a framework, that you understand, okay, what's the pattern expressing? What is it showing us? And then where markets can take on a change in character of what's happened before. I'm looking up here as we get into October of, okay, we have a bat pattern to retest. We have to, if we were super bearish on the market, I would still need to see some individual development. That's not what I'm saying here. Look at what's going on also. These are concrete signs that the market does not want to give it up at a seasonal crash month, I guess, if you want to say it that way. Like that. Where can that go? Short term, until you confirm, I think 142, 142.56 to be exact, is the overspill level. A lot of things going on here where it's exhibiting strength where you would expect weakness. Google, not as strong as the others, but it'll have its due. It'll have its due. Where are we at? Where's the weekly on that? Sorry, hold on, come back to this. Still in an uptrend, and like a lot of these that got oversold in August, you just got an overbought signal, oversold trigger. Should push us up back into the zone. And thing I'm watching on Google, which is relative laggard versus the rest of them, we're just getting to the 50 now. We got up there, rejected, but HSI is above the 50. Okay. Early in that possible continuation stage. But they're all exhibiting strength. You did not collapse after August. That's the point. Couple more. Tech world. What about like super micro? We're going to follow on this puppy because I think this is early stages here. Look, your HSI is cracking above the 50. Remember, we have a massive, now this is where we got patterns. Kind of like this. Big patterns there. Beautiful bat pattern. I think this is a good example to follow along with because we haven't moved. I mean, it's easy to go to patterns in the past and say, oh yeah, look, that happened. Well, here's one in serious development. Objective is target one at $70 and take it in chunks. We had some nice follow through. We had a little retest. That happens. Where was the confirmation? Again, where's the green line? That green line is the dot trigger there. What you want to see is follow through breakout above that big red candle. That was like a one off. I would say anything above 50, close above 50. Anything above with a 5-0, 50, 51 close, that sends it. Also look, 50 level breakout, 50 level breakout. Notice how the character shift is really different. I mean, that's not really a 50 breakout, that is. And we're staying above there. We pierced it and we got above. Also, where is the 50 breakout after the yellow dot here? So that's an important window if SMCI is really going to get going, despite the government pursuing more innocent victims. You know, it is already started, in my opinion. Currently long that. I'm currently long that. Got to look at Tesla. Tesla is, its day is coming. And I'm not talking about going up 20, 30, 50 points. I'm talking about finally making the run to all-time new highs. We have a couple of patterns here. Pretty nice stuff. I mean, harmonically, look at all the patterns. I wish they were all like this. You know, Gartley, type 1, 2. So if I'm thinking Tesla's done the 1, 2, now you're challenged by what's that crab at 260? We know 260 is the big resistance level, but maybe bang that a couple of times. 231, nice window of opportunity for the return once that sets up. I'm thinking that, look, we can come off of here, and it's not too, after we finish this reaction, we're going to launch. And the bigger launch is above 280. You go to, say, the weekly time frame. Why is this not moving yet? Well, you're just resolving what started a couple years ago. There, back test this downtrend line and then start to go. I'm not thinking 260 or 280 on Tesla. I'm thinking 345, 350, and then some. We get through all this chop, that's going to set things up where Tesla can finally run and end its 2-3 year corrective phase. And again, you come back, think of Facebook, folks, Meta, whatever. Think of Amazon, all those that had big patterns. Do you really think if the economy is going to keep going, the markets are going to keep going, Tesla's not going to be in there? I don't care what the valuation is. I'm talking trend, okay? I'm talking harmonic strength of what is coiling up here. It's like that. And what are the possibilities? That's a monthly chart. How many times have we seen this? You go through a consolidation phase, break the trend line, and start to go. That's where you are. This is one of the reasons why I like to lay out big long-term patterns like this so that we're in front of it. And if I'm connecting dots, just what are the possibilities? Well, we could say this, X, A, B, up there to 618, C to D. What would that take you? Like 886 minimum, maybe 786 if you wanted to be conservative. All of that points to like 350 on Tesla. It's just, where does this launch from? And that would be fine for me, because what I think would happen is if you're using that as a minimum level, okay, the ideal thing for if we get a super bullish explosion, which is, I'm not just thinking bullish here next 3 to 5 years, guys. I'm thinking something that's going to blow minds. It's going to blow minds just like it did mid-teens, later teens, up into 2020, and then first few years of this decade. There's a lot of parallels going on here. A lot of parallels of prior decades. And that's where I think you got to be looking. You can break it down on a 4-hour. Maybe one thought is, look, every time the 4-hour gets oversold, like it is right now, and I'm I'm liking Tesla on right now, right where we are here. Okay, you're 231. What's that? Some dot action. It's oversold. Every time we got here, you go back to August, oversold, thrust, oversold, thrust, oversold, thrust. We're down here at 240. I'm thinking 260, a little bit higher, maybe 280 in the short term. You don't think that guy's going to not get government contracts? I do. A lot at stake here. And again, I feel like there's other reasons that I can get into. I just want to look at readings, levels, and line it up, go forward with it. One or two more things that haven't moved. So one of the semis that I really like is ASML. It's got crushed. And I talk about development. I think you've got to be looking in here. Where's the daily, weekly? Daily around 775. We've been looking at this. It's kind of an ugly crab because really didn't come off the way ideally you'd like to see it, but 828 is a general number I would be following. And then the weekly is like this. Okay, the weekly is the chart for ASML. If we know harmonic patterns have to have a reaction followed by a retest for the type 1 to type 2, well, there you go. Around 780 is the termination of that reaction, that butterfly. And then resume it back up for the full retest. I like that one a lot. A lot. It just hasn't busted the move yet. Look at what's going on the 50 level. You just cracked it. Really, last week was the first week you can consider that. And that whole return scenario. One other one. KLA, 10 core KLAC. Look at this. The train track continues. Okay, and we're up above the 50 now with this week. Doesn't look like much, but folks, that's major continuation within the channel. And we've seen past situations where bearish patterns fail. And that's a crab pattern failing as we speak. Let me clean up the chart. I mean, look at this thing. Yeah, it's not making a huge move yet, but it's basically revving for the next leg higher. And you know, you go back, I'd even say stuff like this, like you go back, where did prior patterns fail? I mean, big ones, you know, you go back late teens here. Yes, you have clear patterns. It's a weekly deep crab. But I would say the same situation of where you are, like ASML showed us. KLAC did a similar thing. Reaction, and then do the return move. And once you finish that return move, you blast through. That's how you know it's breaking into the next level, the next run. So many of these are just coming together like this. It's pretty amazing. Let me flash a couple more things maybe you're not looking at. GE Healthcare. GE Healthcare, what's that? Go to like this. Okay, shark pattern, same deal. Let that come in, maybe back to 84, back down, but these are continuing where most of these patterns are just temporary reactions. That was one. What was the other one? Oh, Costco. High level dot continuation within the channel. Where does Costco go? It just keeps going. Clearly, ever since I think it went on an accelerated run. It kind of reminds me of what NVIDIA did. You know, we broke out of this zone here. We broke out of the all-time highs and we took on a whole new character. You can just keep riding that all as we just move forward. The big 314 we know is much higher. But look, last several ones, 1 and 2, it's just not fighting the trend of what's happening. And the things like SPY and QQQ to do the moves that they're going to do, these big cap will continue. What's up, Daniel? Let's look at Lam Research, LRCX. I have not looked at that, but I like that area. Nice, my friend. I like that. That's like ASML. Probably needs a little bit more time, but I think any semiconductor that's on a pullback like that is, Lam Research. Yes, the semis are basically the second half of the decade. I mean, they've already been massive movers. But look, you know, I mean, overall, guys, this is your thesis. Trend continuation. Pick the spots. For Lam Research, that's right around 77 bucks. What I'm saying is you're buying on a low end, 110 is top end. A couple more. Well, remember coin right back at 165. Trying to bang around here. I am doesn't look like much on the daily, or excuse me, the weekly yet. Coinbase. Okay, we're trying to break above the 50. It's more about the daily time frame. Okay, we're down here on the daily. We need to turn up for Coinbase, but you have patterns here. Some confirmation, like 165 is a big number, maybe 155 is a big number. It's all waiting on Bitcoin. And meanwhile, we said this last time, MicroStrategy, okay, just brushed up against all-time new highs. There is a shark pattern here. It's type 2. And I think it's pretty interesting where I'm not too concerned about that. Maybe this slows up the progress of what we've seen. But what's the obvious deal is that above 193, 195, okay, not much here. Almost wait for the breakout. I think it's just a bunch of people selling against that. It's your first shot to try to get higher. Not too much to worry about. Hey, before I deep dive into there, let's go. Let's hit crypto really quick because I want to round out by taking a quick peek at rates and the dollar, and let's segue that way. Let's dive deep on Bitcoin right now. WTF, BTC, come on, what are you doing? Well, 4-hour time frame remains. Okay, 4-hour time frame. What's down here? We said it last time. We needed the T2, so right on schedule. Bitcoin. What do you guys think? This was what we said on Tuesday needed to happen. Back down for the T2. And it just hit. Literally. What was that? Like minutes ago? 60,200. An important retest right here, right now. This is a monumental 4-hour pattern with everything we know that's stacked against it on the daily, the weekly. We know this has to be a kind of yet another shoulder of what started back there in September and August. You're looking for another higher low here that supports the September 15, September 7, good date, and then August 4. You need to continue the stair-step process. The pattern shows us that it has to be there. Now, we could go down, you might overrun a smidge. Don't have any confirmation just yet. You're back into the zone. That's okay. We will address this full situation on Tuesday. That should be more than enough time. Weekly basis. Okay. Let me entertain both sides of the coin here. So I see a lot of people who are for certain Bitcoin's days are numbered. And anyone see that? Any of you guys, come on, what the heck's going on here? Any of you guys see that Satoshi thing? Who is Satoshi? And does it really matter at this point? It doesn't, because the thing is on, you know, it was designed to be on, you know, autopilot mode once it was released and forever. The algorithm, as some people say. And, you know, some people are saying 42K has got to happen. You have to have something like that happen, and then you'll go up. I've heard that a lot, but the time is running out. For that scenario, even, who was the guy that said Bitcoin would go to zero after they would announce this, that it was the CIA or it was Putin? I mean, dude, come on. What the hell? I'm too much time on X. I'm actually too much time on the internet, period. That's not how I'm looking at this. Look, we go here. We're still about to resolve this zone. I'm of the opinion that it's really about getting through the next couple of weeks. We know we're in the 30-week range. And come on back. Where are you? Give me my Binance feed. Binance Bitstamp. There she is. Nice. That's what we're dealing with. A shark to 5.0, but like we saw on that other 5.0 chart on Amazon, okay, you had the reaction. It went through. It gave you a bunch of oversold signals. And we're continuing to stay oversold. Okay, but it's taking its time to get back out of here. And the likely objectives, obviously 63 to 67 and then 70. And you would want to see that retest. Like if you were expecting that at this point, you would still need a retest up to 70. And what should happen is this thing should launch once we can clear out. The time is critical. Every day, every week, every 4-hour bar. Why? Because you're looking for this to hold. 3-bar low right now is at 57.4. Prior dot check back there, it's like 55. Those are your absolute maximum minute limits for this whole scenario. I'm thinking last week's low has got to be it. 59.8. Doesn't look like it's going to hold. We'll see by Sunday, but knowing that there's this 4-hour pattern, okay, against all of this, look, software has printed T2 already. That's it. Right there, right where you are right now for Bitcoin. And if it is a type 2 shark, which it is, I don't have confirmation yet. That's the only drawback I'd love to see. We're looking for shark to go to T2. Not to mention, you have another crab here. So this is working its way up. What's the problem? Everybody wants it to moon. And you got so many people that are basically pushing their own book. Bitcoin $1 million, Bitcoin $280,000. You know, fine. I have thoughts on it, but I won't go there until I get the concrete signals. We are at the limit. This is week 1. I've been saying that for a long time. On the weekly scale, that the 30-bar limit, think of it this way. If the whole pattern is a set of data that has manifested itself to be a reactive shark which it is, then the reaction window is that. I've gone through this many times. Why 30 bars? It's related to the central limit theorem. Look it up. Pull out your statistics 101 from high school, please. Because it's within that 30 bar sample size, you can then assume normal distribution outcome. Meaning, okay, you're going to get an outcome that has a predictive value, and we've seen that before, what in terms of how patterns unfold. If you only get a reaction and that's it, and it doesn't even go to fully to target, almost got there, that we can just assume that that's just reaction. I know it looks confusing on this weekly chart. People, biting their fingernails. Don't. Give it time. It's week 1. And I've been saying that since June. Yeah, I don't know. MEB. Satoshi doesn't exist. I think it's the CIA. It's a CIA, or it's somebody related to the CIA, or something, some dark entity like that. I mean, it comes out of nowhere and goes to 60,000. It's an unusual financial story, probably one of the most unusual financial stories ever to exist in any market anywhere. Don't get me started on conspiracy theories, because they are everywhere. And no, I don't think they control the weather. They can influence it, cloud seeding, whatever, but taking that from directing hurricanes, come on. Look, I've been in Miami. I think today's the first day we've seen the sun in about 10 days. And that's unusual. But is anybody purposely doing that? Come on. Look, I'm a big 3 feet in front of you guy. You can only control the 3 feet in front of you in your whole world. Beyond that, it is what it's going to be. So look out in that first 3 feet in front of you and basically control that. And do the best you can with that first 3 feet. Everything else will take care of itself. Because if shit's going to hit the fan, there's nothing you can do about it, or I can do about it anyway. That's why I say keep the markets moving. Keep it moving for all of us here. If they want that money printer now, well, let's grab it. Let's grab it. I really think it's one of those times where we're there, where it's a unique character change in the markets that's coming. If you're not in the markets, good luck to you, because I don't know where else you're going to go to keep up. That's why most of you are here. And you guys are learning harmonic pattern framework. Ugh. Do I even go into that guy? Do I even? No, I won't. I'll be the bigger man for right now. I have some things that I want to talk about, but I'll save them for another time. What I'm doing here is trying to show you guys, 1, harmonic pattern framework, so that you can have an idea of where the hell the market's going. 2, understand confirmation strategies of what is to be expected. And 3, okay, where to direct your energy to profit from the whole understanding of how markets unfold. They're fractal, okay, they repeat, and they repeat in the same way they do nature. So that's a little homework assignment. Go look up what central limit theorem means, and go look up phyllotaxis. Phyllotaxis in nature. That's the fractal nature of plant growth and other natural cycles. And that's the gist of why patterns work. 1618, 0.618, 886. That's why Bitcoin parked itself at the 1618. Okay, big harmonic impulse wave. Stop, come on over, roll over. Now what? Reaction down. Now what? 30 weeks later. Looking for character change on this week. It started this week. It started Sunday night. What do you guys got? No, we're not getting off track. I understand. I don't want to be off track. And I always want to keep it on the patterns. But it's crazy out there. I don't care how old you are. I've checked in with a lot of friends, old time friends. Talked to my nephew. He's like 20 years old. I'm like, what are people thinking in your area? Everyone agrees. It's just crazy times. But let's stay focused. So I agree with that. Dog whiff hat. Let me just take a break let me just laugh at that for a second. Let's get serious and let's talk about dog whiff hat crypto. That's how crazy it is. We're talking about some money pool called dog whiff hat. My friend, who put that up there? Dog whiff hat. I looked up at the chat for the first time in 30 minutes. Chris Young. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the show. My man, it's a bat pattern. Let's do the T1 and then let's deal with it after we get some oversold triggers. Yeah, we're down under the 50. You're coming off some overbought divergence. That's you're 228. Go to 214, please. Couple more. What's up, Andrew? LTCN, the Litecoin ETF. Well, let's go with Litecoin first. It's been a little while. You know who's big on Litecoin is Miss Teen Crypto Randy Hipper. I don't know. She really, it's always stuck out that she's like Litecoin super fan. Litecoin, folks, is like this. $60 is your floor. Why? You've got a crab all the way back there, $60. And shout out to Randy. Actually, it's been a while. I need to follow her up. Follow up with her and get her on the show. I know she's over in Tampa, so hope she worked out okay. She's really a good person for crypto. Weekly oversold. Remember, that's our recipe. Weekly oversold, type 2 on the daily. Yeah, I don't know if you can expect much here until we can really get amplified back up. Again, I think it's not a bad idea. Litecoin was the first crypto I ever bought. And I bought it like 20 before it went to 200. I think I sold it at 60 because I was thinking, oh man, that's a triple. And went to like 8x. Welcome to crypto. But look, we're pulling up the charts. You got to do something like this. You got to get this back up. I like the fact that the 50 level has been broken, but there's better crypto out there, kids. Who said Tau bit and sore? Who said Tau? Tau? Who said Tau? Chat's moving a little. Oh, yeah. There you go. Intel dude. What's up, Intel dude? I saw that. That's caught my eye recently, but that was a crab pattern, right? I think I mentioned that last time, that Tau was reaching up for that crab. And that's a good comment, okay? And no knock on you, my man. Just to say that Tau's going wild. It went wild. But what's there? Crab pattern off the low, 600, 603. So what's our expectation? Maybe that's the limit of what it can do in this move and come back down for a T1 reaction. So not an opportunity for me at this point. Okay. I like the idea. I like the fact that it's done some moves. 4-hour charts, probably your friend. Okay, but this is what I'm saying about 4-hour charts in crypto. Get some 4-hour beautiful patterns like that. At this point, to me, when I see something like this, especially a crab pattern that has the beautiful 1618, That basically, that is about as much as it can do in the allotted time. Think of it this way as well. If it hits the 1618 and can't blow through, well, do a 30 bar. Just say, okay, I'll wait 30 bars. Let it do its dance. Let it come back for the reaction. And that's down for now. A couple more. What's up, William Lauderdale? PAAL. A lot of those crypto have come back. PAL AI. Around 18 cents. Big bat pattern. But what else is there? Hold on. Although that wasn't the one I was thinking about, the AI one I was looking at. Weekly, where's the 4 hour? Because you're back in that zone. 18 cents is critical. We probably get a dot there pretty soon. I would look at 18 cents. Yeah, wait for the dot. I think it's probably 18 there. Hold the low at 13. It's just reaction. It's just reaction for now. The one that we were talking about was AIOZ. And why do I like this? Because this has progress. You did an insane 100x. Congrats to anybody that was on that at a penny up to $1. 60% pullback. But now you've got some things to consider. It's a type 2 Gartley. Back at 37 cents, I think, is the number I've got for my crew. AIOZ is one of the AI crypto I'm looking at. And so is Akash Network. We've been looking at that. 250, 210. Something down here. What's the weekly on that? Yeah, the weekly is like this. You're oversold weekly. We haven't gotten above 50 on amplified yet. If we turn up, that would be the kind of the combo go sign. It's not ready. It's not ready. I know crypto's been very disappointing. API 3 is another one. No, it's not. Was it API 3? No. There was one other one in the A's. Can't think of it at the moment. Let's go some big boys really quick. Solana. Always have to check in with that because I think Solana fundamentally, okay, it wants to take out Ethereum. Solana is just baselining at this 130 oversold level. That doesn't change. The daily time frame is interesting because we have all these patterns here. Every time you've had a dot, you just a quick reaction back down. Quick reaction back down. What I'm going to say, wait for the next dot. You're 138. Could you go back to 129? Of course. I didn't think that's anything really. You're not going to get movement in anything until Bitcoin can truly move. And that's just, I'm repeating myself. Repetition is the mother of skill. But this is a Bitcoin cycle. And you need mass money to flow into Bitcoin to do anything. Solana will have its day. But after Bitcoin decides to take off and launch. FET's the other one. What's up, Hooji? Hooji Manor. FET's, but FET's I think we talked about FET. Yeah, it was almost a perfect type 1. Come on back down. Don't even think about it until we print a dot, okay? Don't even think, like, yes, FET would be beautiful after a retest of $1. What's the, that's MEXC. Coinbase is the same deal. It's really kind of begging for this retest. And if we did, great. Before I get any further, look, Ethereum. I got issues with Ethereum. I don't like this continued lower high stuff and these smaller and smaller reactions. Something's going on there. There's just, in the house of Vitalik, something is up. And I would think you're going to have to maybe come all the way back. You know, talk to me at like, it's more like 2100 or 2K. I mean, there's this, guys, I don't like what I'm seeing there, and I won't do anything on Ethereum until this gets resolved. I mean, your steady downtrend on your amplified levels. You cracked the 50 for the first time last week, but there's no follow through. Again, I'm not here to favor one crypto use case over another because I really don't, you know, I think that use case whole thing is to me, these are all pools of money. They're all speculative pools of money. I've always said that about crypto, and be aware that's what we're dealing with here, is the most speculative asset class that exists today. I do have to bring up this Caspa. I haven't talked about this in a little while. We've been looking for Caspa to do the retest to 11 cents, and I think it's coming. And this is another sign where when you have something that's setting up from Harmonic perspective, like this, MEXC, okay, we had the type 1 bat, and that's at 10, 11 cents. And then you had the perfect, and I mean perfect, bearish crab pattern. Look, you can ignore harmonic patterns. You can talk shit about harmonic patterns. I don't care. But it was clear. T2 at 20 cents. And I like this because it made a lot of progress, but the opportunity is down here. It's at 11 cents, maybe 8.5. Really easy to get caught up in all of this. But that's where the opportunity is. 153. What do you mean 58K? Is Bitcoin dropping? Oh, crack 60,000. Here we go. Go back to Bitcoin. All right, here's Bitcoin. It just broke 60,000. Are we surprised? Okay, no confirmation yet. This is the retest. What's the hop level? 58,148. Fine. Fine. I'm not going to get myself worked up over these gyrations. How many? I mean, it has been a seesaw with a net, very little net result. There you go. What's going on? Market rolling over. 59.6. Maybe we'll get an October surprise. Big deal. I'm not concerned. If anything, can the 4 hour, can we get down here in the 4 hour? You're looking for the next oversold. HSI was overbought. What was that? Yeah, we're Tuesday we were talking about. Y63, come back to 60. Hop level 58. Okay. And you still got 2 more hours into this bar. People are going to throw that away, especially your short-term traders that were saying that we would never see under 60K again. I said that last time. Here you go, 59.5. Okay. Not a biggie. Not a biggie. If we come in on Tuesday and we're below like 57 or below 55, then I'd say, all right. Then you're probably not going to realize the big move until after the election. But this is a T2 and taken in chunks. And this is a big chunk right there. Yep. I don't think it hurts, J-Man. Do I need a drink? No. I think I need more coffee. Maybe with a little Kahlua in it. But that's what we talked about on Tuesday. So go back on Tuesday's session. This is doing exactly what we said would happen for the retest for the type 2. It is the framework. If you're not familiar with the harmonic pattern framework, get over to here. Go to harmonictrader.com and become a basic member. It's all there. It's in volume 3, by the way. I've had a few questions, but check all of that out. That's your resource page. I'm not even going to get into it. I do, before I get out of here, listen. We need to talk about dollar index, and we need to talk about dollar index and interest rates. Okay, dollar is bouncing off the 100 level. What's there? What was there? It was bat pattern. Big bat. Back-to-back bat. Deep crab, bat pattern, right at the 100 level, big psychological level. Okay. What is the bigger deal? The bigger deal is that we know that's a reaction, and it's hitting today. So this is a timely session, folks. Quite a timely session, but let's do this. Okay. It's just a reaction. Can we have the return move come back down? Of course. And this is where things get interesting. I'm looking here on dollar index. You need dollar index to go down for Bitcoin to go up. It's the denominator in the Bitcoin equation. Bitcoin, the numerator. Okay, dollar, denominator, lower part. So if the dollar is going to go up against Bitcoin, of course, it's going to break down. Bitcoin price is going to go lower. Pattern-wise, what happened or what started last year and really accelerated, and there's a weekly, okay, 102.68. It's a big target, but we would need that to retest. Longer term trend did top out at this peak over here. Okay, remember we were looking at 104.83 a while ago, and then confirmation was like 108, shark pattern, and then monthlies like this. That's what it was. All right. Be aware of how important that peak was. Potential capitulation high in the dollar index. Yes, they're finding support right at the psychological 100 level. No biggie. Now we realize that pattern. And I know we talked about that, this whole 100 scenario in the dollar index a while ago. It's just been realized in the last week, 2 weeks. I mean, that was last week. We hit 100, bounced. We're at T1 already. Okay, is that just a reaction? 50 level break, amp break. Okay. So here we are, October. We get a surge move in the dollar. Maybe that caps the market for a little while, but these maniacs are not going to stop with dollar devaluation. I don't care. And you go to rates. So what's the deal on rates? 2-year yield. And that's the one to be looking at. No matter what. I mean, 10-year maybe. But the 2-year yield's like this. I think many of you were here where in the last year or so, long time, we said this 1618 level at around 450, maybe 480 was about the most that we could sustain. Why? Because nothing goes straight up. Even though that did off of 0, it still has a limit how high it can go. 1618, 450. So now you got oversold in the short term. Yeah, we're up. But where's the low? Where is this going to go? And this is important for crypto in particular. You need rates to drop. You need to see things really come together. Why? Same whole dollar weakness story. Okay, why 2020 cycle so crazy? We had that drop. We're going to get the drop. Let the drop come in here. If that is a 1618, which it is from 18 to the lows, anybody who got a mortgage down here, congratulations. There you go, 382. Where's the 382 level? It's like 3.25. It's right there, 3.25, 330. Okay, so any bounce here, it's just temporary. I would expect a minimum 382 or as low as 50. Get you to 265. That's what you need to see. And you need to see, we almost took it out, basically sweeping those lows at 350. I'd say that's just a reactive move. If anything, to me, what that looks like, notwithstanding today's little bounce move, is you have something like a crab pattern. 618, X, A, B, C, D. So it's like that. And that's like 240, 250. You're halfway through that move. Okay, that's it. Much like you go back to 2018, a lot of the similar dynamics. You had X, A, B, C, D, and it even took out lower. I mean, just failed that crab. That's why rates are going to continue to drop. Okay, till we get down to these minimum levels. If it's three, what was that? Come on, brain. Hold on. The 382. Yeah, it was 330. 330 is the number, folks. 330 is the number. So any counter trend reaction and what I would be looking at is for this daily pattern that we saw, where's dollar index, to be, that's it. Dollar index is here. And it's actually in a good spot for crypto people because you want this to be just a reaction. And then I'm going to say this. We just hit it literally as we were speaking. I think that was the big development. And that's why you're seeing Bitcoin do what it's doing. Next couple of days into next week, 102.92. This is a huge development. If you're not following dollar index, please do, because that's where you're going to get insight into what Bitcoin will do. I want that to be the top, like 103. Next couple of days, we roll over. Can you roll over and start the retest? Because usually this reactions, and if they're only reaction, once they kind of burn out, which that's, to me, you can't get it through this today's peak, can't get above 103, you start to roll over into next week. Then you'll see that start to show up in Bitcoin. So we know dollar index, critical spot. You know, Bitcoin, let's just circle back real quick. Bitcoin, there, 59.5, okay. Let's look for, yeah, I think we can look for that, you know. I think it's more like the shark. Where's our shark? Let me get the, what was it, the Binance feed we had? Trigger this shark. The shark on Bitcoin for this next test. There she is. All right. There's your make or break. You want to know if Bitcoin's going to actually survive all of this and hold? It's 58.1 hop level. And you know, there you go. Keep dropping. Nice. That would get us oversold, folks. That's what you should be looking for. If you're going to have problems in Bitcoin, all right, it's under those areas there. But this is what we said on Tuesday. So go back, check what I was talking about on Tuesday of looking for the return move and then build it over into the weekend. I'm not concerned. It's just more of the same kind of chop everybody up, get everybody concerned, nervous. But just let's target this next level. That's all it is. It's a stair-step move. Nobody said this was going to be a moon market yet. We're going to stair-step, chop it around until they can set it free. Right now, let's deal with this type 2 shark. We'll come back on Tuesday. Yeah, 58, I guess. Again, framework is pointing us in that direction. Same way over here. We had the Gartley up, come back, tag the hop, go up. I mean, there's a lot of nice back-to-back 4 hours here. We'll get to this on Tuesday. All right.